Mike Bobo Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs hit the jackpot on Monday evening when they landed five-star quarterback Jared Curtis. He is a big deal. He's the number one quarterback prospect in the country. Still, you got to sign a quarterback in the 2027 class too. So we're looking ahead a little bit, but now that Georgia has the guy that should be a multi-year starter, right, and the guy in the 26 class, where do they go from here? What quarterback in the country in 2027 is going to look at Georgia and say, hey, they just signed five-star Jared Curtis. Why would I want to jump on board, right? We're going to talk about all of that. We're going to talk about some 2027 quarterback targets because at the end of the day, if you're quarterback number 2 at Georgia behind Jared Curtis and for some reason something happens to the kid, right? You're now the starting quarterback at the University of Georgia. So being the backup at a place like Georgia is still something that quarterbacks are interested in being. You're one snap away from being the guy, right? So they are going to sign someone in the 27 class. Probably not going to be elite, right? Probably not going to be a 5-star, top 5 quarterback, maybe not even a top 10 quarterback across the country, right? Because there's plenty of other schools where they can go play early. They're not sitting behind this absolute stud of a quarterback with, who is probably going to play in the NFL one day. First round draft pick, all of that. I mean, the guy is elite for a reason, right? So we're going to talk about some 2027 quarterbacks. And I know it's down the road. I know a lot of y'all don't care, but this is what we do. They still have to sign a quarterback in next year's class. So we're going to talk about it, right? Now, the first guy I want to talk about is Payton Houston. Now, He looks elite to me. He is high on Georgia. He's the number 5 quarterback prospect in the 2027 class, number 49 overall. This kid's a big deal. He's from Louisiana, okay? So I'm not saying Georgia's going to go into Louisiana and sign a record-breaking quarterback. I'm going to talk about that in a second. 1 year after they signed Jared Curtis. So it's probably not likely, but he's a guy that is high on Georgia. He threw for 4,480 yards. It was a 5A state record last year in Louisiana. As a sophomore, 38 touchdowns, ran for 690, 7 more touchdowns. Kid's legit. He's got decent size. He's not the biggest dude, but he's got really impressive arm talent. He was in Athens on February 1st and told Dawg Post that visit made a really big impression. He said, the message I consistently heard from the coaches at Georgia is that it's all about the standard and competition. The whole coaching staff is on board with the same goal, to get players to the next level and develop them. They achieve this through daily competition, both on and off the field, and by holding their players to a high standard. Of course, he's, like I said, the number 5 quarterback prospect in the country. He's high on Georgia. We'll see how high he is on Georgia moving forward after Jared Curtis, but definitely a guy where, there is some mutual interest. And the kid absolutely lit up the stat sheet last year as a sophomore in Louisiana. If LSU wants him, that's probably where the kid's going to end up. It's hard to go get a kid from Louisiana at any position group, much less a quarterback with what the Tigers have been able to do at that position over the years. So probably not a guy that's going to end up at Georgia, but we'll see. He likes Georgia. I do know that. But he's a high 4-star kid I think Georgia fans should still keep an eye on. We'll see if he makes it back to Athens this summer or for a game in the fall. Now, an in-state guy to keep an eye on is Jace Johnson out of Lowndes. Might be the best quarterback prospect in the state. If it's not him, I think it's a kid at North Cobb, who I'm going to talk about in a second, a guy that I saw on Friday, spoke with him a little bit. I think Georgia should offer him. They're on their radar. Anyway, I'll get to him in a minute. But Jace Johnson is a promising quarterback. He is electric with the ball in his hands. He is a true dual-threat quarterback. Didn't light up the stat sheet last year as far as numbers go. Just threw for 1,800 yards, 16 touchdowns. Rushed for just 318 and 3 touchdowns. Sacks had a lot to do with that. But you turn on the film, this guy is running through defenses. He's really fast. He's shifty. He's got good burst. Again, he is tough to corral when he's taken off of the football. And the numbers don't indicate it, but the film does. This kid can move. He's got natural arm talent. And if he can harness that talent, develop as a quarterback, as a passer, learn exactly what to do, reading defenses, knowing the offense inside and out, learning how to be a quarterback instead of just a natural pass thrower of the football, I think he's got a chance to be really good. And again, just a sophomore, didn't put up gaudy numbers, but he's still ranked as the number 10 quarterback prospect in the country, number 89 overall. Really strong athlete, a guy that, flashes big playability, easy on film. So yeah, he's the top 100 player in the country, number 10 quarterback prospect. If he continues to develop and get better and better, this kid, I think, has a very, very bright future. He was in Athens on February 1st for a visit. He was back in Athens for a visit in late March, so he's familiar with Georgia and the coaching staff, and a guy who needs development, right? This is not a guy who I think is going to, he's still got 2 years of high school football left, but he's got to develop a lot, I think, if he's going to go into college and want to play early. So at the next level, probably going to sit a year, maybe two, before he's ready to be a true quarterback at the next level. But he is extremely talented. He holds a Georgia offer, and he's a guy that I think Georgia fans need to keep an eye on. Another in-state guy, Kareem Hewley out of Gainesville. Another guy with really good arm talent, especially for his size. He's not the biggest guy, just 6 foot 190, so a little lean. But he threw for 2,543 yards, 22 touchdowns for the Gainesville Red Elephants, one of the best programs, especially in North Georgia, but probably across the state, and did it as a sophomore, playing really high-level football against quality competition week after week after week. He's the number 13 quarterback prospect in the country, number 172 overall. Ball zips out of his hands. He's got a quick release. He's accurate. I still think he's got some developing to do. Would like to see him put on some more weight, but he's a strong quarterback as far as, just overall talent. I think he's going to have a really, really big junior season for Gainesville, take them deep into the playoffs. Like Jace Johnson, probably not a guy who could start immediately at the next level, especially at a big-time program, but he's got a Georgia offer. He's 45 minutes away. He's very familiar with Georgia and Athens. So he's still a guy to keep an eye on. I don't know if Georgia leads here, especially now that they have Jared Curtis, but still a local guy to keep an eye on who I think has a chance to have a phenomenal junior season for Gainesville. Another guy to keep an eye on, a guy I really like, might be the best quarterback in the state. Wouldn't surprise me if he was ranked as the number 1 quarterback in Georgia for the 27 class, and that's Teddy Gerard, coming off a really big season for North Cobb Christian, 2,647 yards, 31 touchdowns. He's now down the street at North Cobb. He's got weapons around him. He's got a left tackle that's going to play in the SEC. He's got one of the best freshman running backs across the country, a guy who I think could be a 5-star right behind him. He's got a lot of weapons. Right now, he's the number 14 quarterback in the country, number 181 overall. Does not have a Georgia offer, but he knows Mike Bobo. The family knows the Bobo family. He is on Georgia's radar. There was a college coach that watched him practice, I was told last week, watched him throw for an extended period of time. And this coach was in the NFL in the past. He's now in college. And he looked at Teddy and the North Cobb staff, said, that's an NFL quarterback. He's got an offer from us. This is a Power 4 program. And easily, they're like, we want this kid. He is flying up our board now that we watched him throw in person. And that's an NFL quarterback. I think Georgia will offer him. I think they'd be crazy not to. And but he's going to have a massive year for North Cobb. He's a big kid with a big arm, 6'3", 195 pounds. One of the best arms, I think, not only in Georgia, but across the South. And I think he's going to light it up as a junior. Bigger offers are going to come in. And if I'm Georgia, I'm offering this kid tomorrow. I think he is Georgia good. And he's already got a handful of impressive offers. Arkansas, I think North Carolina. So, the smaller SEC schools, some ACC, some Big Ten have offered him, but I think the big ones will come. He's on Georgia's radar. He's on Alabama's radar, and I'd be surprised if Georgia didn't extend an offer at some point. He's good. He's got size. He's got arm talent. I think he could be one of the more productive passers in the state of Georgia this upcoming season, just as a junior as well. So definitely a guy I think Georgia fans need to keep an eye on, especially if he gets that offer. And there's a kid from the Midwest in Illinois, Jamison Purcell, just a 3-star kid. I think Nebraska's probably leading for him. He's from Illinois, though. It's all kind of the same. States up there, very similar. It is similar in area. 6'3", 195, threw for 2,572 yards, 30 touchdowns. He was accurate, completed 70% of his passes. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at the story that's already written over on Dawg Post. So make sure you're checking that out. We've got a lot of content about Jared Curtis, upcoming quarterbacks, what it means for the program that they were able to land Jared Curtis when a lot of Georgia fans were saying Georgia can't land 5-star quarterbacks anymore. That wasn't true. Well, before that, it was Georgia can't land 5-star wide receivers. That wasn't true, right? They can't land elite running backs. That wasn't true either. So they still recruit at an elite level, no matter if you like the assistant coach or not. Okay, that's just what it is. It was a big, big deal to land Jared Curtis. We've got news on that and these quarterbacks to keep an eye on. I know it's early. I know people probably don't even care about who they're going to sign in 2027, but we still got to talk about it. They got to sign someone, right? So those are a few names to keep an eye on. We'll update you more on that and a lot of other Georgia Bulldog team and recruiting notes over on Dawg Post. Make sure you head over to the site. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you over there on Dawg Post.